Hi, this is Daryl Webster, Office Servers and Services MVP, sharing a little something about the Surface and SurfaceLife. I've got a Surface Pro 4 now. I've previously had a Surface Pro 3 and a Surface 1, and I've tried to use it as much as I can as a tablet. I like to use the keyboard. It's great, and I can key in a lot of quick text, but I also challenge myself sometimes to just use it without the keyboard, and also try and use the touchscreen as much as possible. One thing or a few tips that I want to share with you are about trying to make the experience of using the desktop and the applications easier within the tablet. Now, I know we have a tablet mode in Windows 10, but there's a few things that we do try and keep a hold of, and the comment has been made that a lot of people, they have a Surface Pro and they continue to use it as a desktop. And sure, it is a desktop replacement, but let's just change a couple of things about the setup of our desktop that will help us to better use the touch capabilities of our Surface. So one of the first things that I do is I like to try and free up the taskbar. Often the taskbar is set in, it's locked, so it means that it's not going to be able to drag anything around the taskbar itself, and you can't move its position. So the first thing I do is I unlock it. The next thing that I do is, well, in the past what I have done is drag the taskbar up to the left hand side, or perhaps if you want the right hand side. Now, this meant that I could quickly just thumb through the different applications that I might have open at the time, and this was useful. It means that it was easy for me to get to from touch. If I'm holding my tablet or my Surface with two hands, one hand, that my thumbs are already in a position where they can easily change between the applications. However, if you're starting to open up a number of applications, then you start to get a little scroll bar down here to change between the sets of applications that can be displayed on your taskbar. So what I've done recently is starting to get into the habit of, well, actually it sits. I move it right up to the top of the screen. This feels like a Mac environment, and I know that some people have done this with the taskbar in Windows anyway. This makes even more sense when it comes to using a Surface Pro. Now we can easily thumb through and get into the applications from the top of our screen. A little different to having it on the left or right hand side, because our thumbs aren't in the position that it can naturally change between applications. But the advantage of having the toolbar along the top is that I can display more applications while they're open, and I also have moved it away from the the desktop mode that we're all used to. Now, the desktop mode we are all used to is great when we're using it as just a desktop. However, it's quite difficult to get your fingers into the changing and switching the applications down the bottom of the screen. You've got to get your finger right up against the keyboard that you're using, and it's a lot easier to have it in a position either on the side or how I'm using it now, which is up the top of the screen. Now, one other thing I'd like to show you too is how I use Office, and I've done a blog post a long time back talking about minimizing the layout of Office to make it easier for you to focus on the work. Again, one thing that we like to do, even though we've got a tablet, is we change our Office into the mouse mode. And some people prefer this to the touch mode, because the mouse mode displays more and it feels just a bit tighter and easier to display lots of items. When we change it over to touch mode, all the toolbars, buttons have got some more space around it, so they're easier to touch with our fingers. And we also have within our reading pane some other useful buttons along the side as well for being able to reply and move items around or go up and down the items that we're going to be reading. So this is a good mode. However, now that we've got our taskbar along the top for Windows, we've also got a ribbon just below that. The screen, the top of the screen, is getting quite busy. So what I want to encourage you to do is again discover how to minimize Outlook and its layout so that you can focus on content while still keeping your tools available to you. So the first trick to start with is at the top of the right hand screen. I'm using the show tabs option. You see it's nicely tucked away. It means that I can, if I want to, go into home and easily thumb through and get to those different choices that I might want to make. But it's already clearing up the top of that screen. I don't know if I'd necessarily go to auto hide. That gets a little awkward when I'm trying to use it in touch mode, but as you see, if I go back down into here and it's an auto hide, I could just have it tucked away, and all I need to do is press the ellipsis button, those three dots at the top right hand corner. I might actually try that for a little while, but I think the better one is just show taskbar. Now the other thing that I'll do is I'll minimize or collapse the folder tree along the side there. Now you see I've got my folders that are in my quick access, for want of a better word, or my favorite folders, so I can easily change between the inboxes and clutter, and the other folders are still within reach. So if I jump in through clutter there, or for follow-up, I can still get to those other folders if I need to, and just click on back into the mode of reading my email. I can change and thumb through the calendar and various appointments or contacts. Very easy to do. And you'll see that because it's in this mode, it's tidy. It means that I don't have that cluttered screen. I've got the taskbar still along the top, so it's still nice and convenient for me to be able to touch through and change between applications. But within Office now, I'm able to easily use the touch screen and have the screen less cluttered. Now within the start menu, it's also still quite accessible. We've got the start button at the top left hand corner, so it's very easy to find still, and easy to get to with your fingers. It's still on the edge of the screen, so you can get to it with your thumb, and you can easily thumb through the applications that you might have pinned to your start menu. So those are a few tips about how to use the taskbar for Windows 10 along the top of your screen, just making it easier for you to use the tablet in touch mode. I know that we can change our tablet mode into, let's see, we'll swipe that out to the left, turn that on into tablet mode, and now we've got that full screen. So that's definitely convenient for the way to be able to start and find the applications. You notice now though that the applications that were along the start bar are no longer there, so I have to go through and use the task switcher. This is still a great way to use tablet mode. I just wanted to show you something that would be a good variation of being able to use the tablet in still a desktop mode and get the best of both worlds. Now this still works quite well too when I have my keyboard attached, as I do now, and I want to make use of the touch capabilities. I don't necessarily have to move the mouse with my new trackpad on the Surface Pro 4 keyboard, but I can just push on through and touch very quickly. I don't have to use the trackpad. So yeah, quite a few tips. That's SurfaceLife for me, and I'll pass on a few more things as I find them. Thanks for watching.